Welcome everybody to another episode of Books and Betches, not to be confused with Books and
Troopers.
I'm Kristen, good effort, and with me I have...
It sounded better in my head.
The effort was
Good
there.
effort.
The effort was there. I want to give you recognition.
Oh, that's so sweet of me to say to her.
Say your name.
There we go.
Maria.
Okay. I brought back the harmonica because the trumpet was not working out for me.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't good. The harmonica is where it's at. Might
A lot of
use
coordination.
This. I actually might use this moving forward.
Yes, I think that's a great idea.
You cut out the music at the beginning, right?
No, she still has them in there.
Cut that out. We'll just use the harmonica.
No, I don't do it anymore.
Oh no, you don't do it anymore.
Because when I
Now with
upload
the
the
video.
video, you can't add
Nice.
music in.
There you go. There's our intro music right there. The
Um,
harmonica.
Okay.
Wait, I have a story that I want to tell everyone.
Oh yeah. You said you had
Did
a
I
story.
tell you? I don't know if I told you guys. I feel like I did. I bought these cookies. I did, right?
All you
I
said-
think you mentioned it, and then you didn't really go into the details.
All you said
I told
was
you how much
bought,
they were.
You said you
Yeah.
bought expensive cookies and
Yeah.
you haven't gotten
You
them
bought luxury cookies.
yet. Yeah, that's
Okay.
the word.
said.
That was the word you used.
So Doja Cat, I love Doja Cat.
We
and
all do.
She was definitely stoned off her ass on a live, right? She's usually fucked up on her lives, and she always gets in trouble for like vaping on her lives. Because,
Really?
And
Yeah,
you
because
get
you're
like
not allowed on
banned.
TikTok.
Really?
So she'll go off screen and be like, "You didn't see nothing. There's nothing here."
That
It's
is funny.
she's very, very funny.
Yeah.
So I'm watching her live, and she's like obsessed with these fucking cookies, right? And there are these luxury brand, I think, Last Crumb or something like that. I think that's what they're called. I forget. Not Just Crumb. I have no idea.
No idea. I thought you just said
So she
Just
was
Cum,
eating
and I
this
don't-
cookie, and she was like, "This is the best cookie I've ever eaten in my life. Like, this is my favorite cookie I've ever eaten." Granted, stoned,
High.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
whatever.
Cool.
But I took that to heart, and I was like, "Well, Doja Cat's probably eating some of the best food. She's rich."
I mean,
No?
Yeah, probably.
No, but like you're right. But
Like,
I
in
love
theory-
how this right here, influencer culture, right there.
To a T. She got you.
Someone
Hook,
high
line, and fucking
said,
sinker.
"I love this cookie so much." Erica goes, "Well, if Doja said it,
Yep.
gotta be true."
Hook, line, and fucking sinker.
I am not a peer pressure person. Like if
She didn't have to pressure
you couldn't peer pressure me to do anything.
Can I just say, because you're on the other end of the spectrum,
Yes.
you're the one peer pressuring
I'm a drink pusher.
others. Yes.
I'm the peer pressurer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
With
I just
that
wanted to
being
clarify.
said, I am the ideal person for Instagram ads.
Yeah.
Like I buy everything
No,
off
I
Instagram
love
ads. It's
marketing.
pathetic.
Can you tell us more about these cookies? Are they
So
coming?
so the
What's deal?
cookies, basically how they work is like you have to sign up to the newsletter, and then they send you a random email, and then they give you a countdown, and it's usually like 8 hours from the time that you get the email, and then you have to like click. You have to wait for the countdown to hit 0, and then you have to like refresh your page like a bunch of times to get the cookies. So it's like exclusive.
That
You
already,
realize how
hard to do.
fucking ridiculous and
that
stupid
already
this
is
sounds.
too much to do for a cookie.
So
Erica, what?
I see the email. I set a timer on my phone to come back to it.
This is next level. I didn't expect this. I'm sorry. Go on.
This is not what I thought
That's
was
why
going
I wanted to
happen.
tell the story.
Yeah.
So I set the timer, come back to it. I get on. The first time I did it, I did this twice because I didn't know how much they were.
Twice.
Yep.
There was no pricing anywhere.
That's
And
when you
course
know
not.
it's exciting. They do that
That's
with
when you know it's
lobster.
fucked.
So I was like, I don't know
Regular
what to
menus,
do.
you know what's the numbers?
Yeah.
You're fucked.
You're fucked.
I don't know what to do because I was like, I don't even know how much they are. Like they could be $400. You know what I mean? Like Doja Cat bought them, or you know, she doesn't care about money.
No.
So then, and they're luxury cookies. That's what they're branded as. Like they're luxury cookie
They're
brand.
gold in them?
Anyway, so I log on. They're $140 for a box of 12 cookies.
12 cookies?
Erica!
You bought 2?
No, I only bought one
Erica!
box.
Oh.
Do we need to have another mental health episode? What the fuck is wrong with you?
So nobody tell John.
You just did.
John doesn't listen to these episodes.
Now he's gonna.
So $12 for a cookie?
Yeah.
I could see that out in the market. Like,
I mean, that's an expensive
Yeah.
cookie.
Yeah.
Sounds like New York.
it's insane.
That's more than like a sandwich.
Okay, let's get back on
Granted,
track.
that's with shipping.
Erica, thank you for telling us this story. The moral of the story is don't watch Doja Cat on TikTok. You'll end up spending $140.
Also, don't go spend $144 on this now.
yeah, don't. Okay, so
You're welcome.
this is a book.
You're welcome.
This is a book podcast.
Oh shit! Now we're going
It's
into the
a
intro.
cookie. We've now ventured into the land of cookie.
Yeah, but now we're going back to books.
We're doing a cookbook episode.
No, we're not. I want to say that we.
I took that serious. I was like, we are?
No, we're not.
Because I figured we can just bring your cookbook that you got from your wedding.
We're not doing a cookbooks episode. We
are.
So we swear, we spoil, and we talk about sex. Those
no
are three,
sex here.
Those are 3 things you need to know about. No, there's some mention. There's definitely some mention.
Of Troop?
Yeah, of the bad kid who touches himself.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
We'll get into
I
it.
Forgot about
so
that.
there is going to be. This isn't necessarily suitable if you have kids around.
No, not at all.
We mentioned this in the last episode. This is a batch of psychological thrillers that we did. Horrors. So there is going to be just, a little bit of a warning. There will be talk about those type
Death.
of. Yeah. Okay. I love how Erica's thing is, I was like, we swear, we spoil. And she's like, we talk about sex. And yours is death. You could see who gets excited about what.
Me, dear.
So
lovely.
The book that we read this week is The Troop
by Nick Cutter.
Nick Cutter. I can never remember people's names.
Nick Cutter? Yeah, Nick Cutter.
I almost read the wrong book.
What did you almost read?
I was gonna read Bunny.
Oh yeah.
I did
we
mention
were talking
that.
about Bunny.
I did mention that.
What the fuck is Bunny?
Bunny is a satirical horror. I think it's a satirical horror.
Yeah.
No, this was Troop.
We
all
talked about it at length, and I got confused.
That's fair.
I do want to cover it one day. I want to read it, but I think this one was more.
I got confused.
It was more scary and more gross.
Did we all listen to it?
Yes.
Did you listen to it, Erica?
I did, yeah.
So you actually did listen. You read it.
I read all of them.
Wow. And not a fan of The Troop or what?
Hated it.
I liked it.
But I will say, I thought when I read or I listened to The Troop, I was thinking of Lost the entire time.
Okay.
Lost plus Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies. Yeah,
like
I
it
can
was
see that.
like it was a combo thing, and then I was like, also fucking hated Lost. So
I never watched Lost.
nothing about this makes me like this.
I will say I really.
And there's no sex. So triple whammy.
And it's just boys.
I
Didn't like Lord of the Flies, didn't like Lost, and there's no hanky panky. Hanky panky.
I don't say hanky panky.
Hanky panky.
That's another level that I don't want to.
That's a real.
I like that. That's good.
I really enjoyed this book.
I enjoyed this too.
I thought it was crazy. There was a lot. I had to skip a few parts, which we'll get into.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I also had to skip a few parts too.
What did you skip?
Wait,
Probably the same ones.
probably the same ones. When we talk about it, we'll
I got
see.
it in 6 seconds.
All right. Well, first of all, genre. We said thriller. It's a
Horror.
horror.
It's a horror.
Yeah.
Definitely a horror.
It wasn't scary.
I thought it was.
Oh, I wasn't scared at all.
In like a unsettling, like
I was
I'm scared
unsettled.
why this is like this.
Yeah. I was unsettled. I wouldn't say I was scared. Like I wasn't listening. When we listened to I'm Thinking of Ending Things, I felt actual fear at one point.
Right.
Whereas this book, I didn't ever feel fear. I felt uncomfortable.
Because it felt so out of reality.
Yeah, I agree. All right. So if you're new here, we do this thing on our podcast where we attempt to explain the entire plot summary of a book in 60 seconds or less. Maria, do you want to do The Troop?
Yeah.
All right. Since you recommended this book,
I did
You
recommend
hadn't
this.
even known anything about it, right? When you
I
read it?
only knew about this book because I watched BookTube, and Noelle Gallagher had done a reading vlog about it months ago that I saw.
Oh.
And she was very unsettled.
Yeah.
And she had gotten as a recommendation from another booktuber who also said this is disgusting. And I go, well, why? Why is it disgusting? And so Noelle was like, I can't even eat spaghetti anymore.
Oh, I love Noelle.
I love Noelle.
It took me a second to realize who you were talking
So
about.
I was like, spaghetti? Why spaghetti? And now I know why.
Now you know.
Spaghetti.
Yeah.
And I've been in the mood. I'm so happy we did this because I was in the mood for thrillers. I was in the mood to not go into fantasy and romance for a while.
I agree.
And so the fact that we did a batch of just thriller books, it really scratched that itch, and I'm just happy.
I want to say now I am enjoying let's pick a genre for every batch and each pick a book for that genre.
I have if
I like
if
that.
if I can offer up another batch of like genre,
Yeah.
I would love to do sci-fi.
I would love to do a sci-fi
Would you
batch.
wanna do
This is
sci-fi?
really going to take you out of your
but
comfort zone.
I'm gonna give you a sci-fi with fucking.
That's fine.
Erotic.
That's fine.
It's gonna be erotic sci-fi.
Yeah,
That's
I
fine.
want that.
That's
we
cool.
love
It's gonna be another
we
Ice
love
Planet Barbarian.
Fine. Yeah.
Okay,
Fine.
great. Because
Fine.
I want to do First Sister.
I'll give you a whole different sci-fi. All right. All right, so let's do the 60 seconds. Maria's going to do it. Are you ready?
Yeah. I forgot what island they're on.
Island Boys.
Talking about island boys.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, Go.
So we're on an island that's Canadian. I don't know which one it is, but it's a bunch of boys who are, think of them as Boy Scouts, but they're a little older with their Scoutmaster. Every year they go on this island as a sort of a trip that they do, and this is the last one before the boys are just too old for the whole troop thing. So they're out, they're doing their thing. As they're there, there's no communication. There's no, unless for like some, emergency, but there isn't. This man shows up. He is dying. He is like super skinny and gross, and he has something wrong with him. Because of this, he kind of coughs on our troop master. Our troop master gets this bug. Whatever this bug is that he has turns out to be a military bio war thing. It's like an eating thing, and you have a bunch of worms in you that make you eat everything in sight. And so all the boys die one by one. And then one of them survives at the end.
What? Okay.
I can keep going. Okay, there's one that's kind of like a serial killer.
No, stop.
There's animal abuse,
Stop.
and there's a lot of gore.
Stop.
I have 5 seconds left.
Stop.
Gore.
You can't finish. There's rules that I'm setting. You cannot finish a 60-second with 15 seconds to spare and then decide to pick it up.
Well, you
That's a
looked
new
at me as
rule.
if I had to keep going.
I felt
Well,
like.
is there anything else I have to add in there?
Nah.
I'm going to
I think
details
she did it.
afterwards.
I think she covered most of it.
It's what they die one by one. There's a weird bug that's in them that's making them eat everything in sight.
Yeah.
I did it.
There was a lot of flashbacks. So like the overall story that you hit it now.
Yeah, there is like there's flash forwards because they're going into the court system.
Okay,
and
we
the
didn't
whole-
mention that.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go. That
right,
doesn't
yeah,
fit
yeah,
into
yeah,
the 60 seconds.
Okay, so this book.
Hey.
What?
I just was ready for you guys to be upset about it.
Oh, I'm not upset.
I'm just ready for her to be upset about it.
I'm excited to hear what she has to say.
Are we talking about it? I thought you were going into something.
We're gonna get into the story a little bit, because it starts with the boys going on their trip.
Yeah.
You told me it was like a camping trip. I got all pumped anyway.
It
So
is
like
a camping trip.
it is, and they weren't. I thought it was gonna be so much scarier. If I'm being honest, I thought it was
I
gonna
didn't
be.
think it was gonna go the way it went.
Me neither. I thought it was gonna be a creature. I thought it was gonna be a Slender Man thing. I didn't know it was gonna be a disease thing.
Zombies,
Yeah.
literally
Something
zombies.
actually real.
Okay, so what happens is they're on this island. A man shows up on a boat.
Yep.
And he parks his car. He looks ungodly, like sickly,
So
decrepit.
skinny.
I would say decrepit.
Yes.
And he's pale. He's all fucked up. The Scoutmaster is also a doctor.
Yes.
And
Can we talk about how stupid that fucking name is?
Tim?
Scoutmaster.
Oh.
what? No, his name's
Tim Riggs.
Dude, don't
Tim
even.
Riggs!
Okay, that's the biggest problem I have with this
Okay,
book.
what
forgot
Tim
about
Riggs? What's that name mean to you?
Tim
Friday Night
Riggins.
Lights.
Tim Riggins
Who's
is
Tim Riggins?
from Friday Night
Lights.
Lights.
I didn't watch that.
Okay,
Is that the hot guy? The hot coach?
Sexy, No, he's not a coach.
No, not the coach.
He's just the sexy
He's like the
football
star
player.
He's one of the players.
And
Oh.
so I started picturing him as Tim Riggins. I really did. I pictured
Same.
that actor, which
Same.
didn't bother me. I was fine with it.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Search this now.
Because
The
John,
whole time.
John says Tim Riggs all the time because he's just a fucking weirdo. But like,
Yeah.
it's just such a name that. When
He's
was this
hot,
book
trust me.
written?
I don't know.
This book was written in 2014, I believe.
So after Friday Night Lights.
Yeah. He knew Tim Riggins
He knew what he was
existed.
doing.
Yeah. Okay, so Tim, the Scoutmaster, is also a doctor. So he felt obligated, which I don't fucking know why, to help this man.
There's an oath.
Yeah, but come
Doctors make an oath.
on. Yeah, there's a lot of
The Hippocratic oath to save anyone.
Yeah, save your kids before you save this man.
The kids were fine in the other room. He didn't know what the guy had.
So the guy comes up, he's fucked up, like really fucked up, and you don't realize that
And he's hungry.
yeah, he was eating dirt.
Like, hungry in a way that
He ate the
doesn't make sense.
He ate the spark plugs on the boat.
Well, we have to get to that point.
Either way, he ate a bunch of shit, like dirt and stuff.
Yeah.
So clearly there's something wrong with him.
Yeah.
The Scoutmaster decides he's gonna help. But the guy, like you mentioned in the 60 seconds, he coughed on the Scoutmaster. This is when we learn that
When he's
whatever
trying
he
to help
has-
him, Tim is trying to call on the only radio they have to call for help because this man's obviously not okay. He needs medical help or he's going to die. When Tim goes to call on this radio, this guy loses his shit, goes and smashes the only radio they have. And all the boys had left their phone away because that's the rule. It's like, this is away from society. So you're going to survive out in the wilderness. This is why I don't do these kind of things. And so they had no communication to the outside world. At the same time, there is a boat that's supposed to come get them a day later. And there's also a storm coming that they thought wouldn't come. So there's a lot of factors going in that's just put them in the perfect storm of just bad.
Yeah. But I will say, if you read, I think it might have been the prologue or it was the first chapter, but like you do get the perspective from the man who's super hungry.
The prologue
he's
is
not a bad guy.
No, he's not. That's the thing. He didn't mean to. He was basically a test subject for this worm type of thing.
To
lose weight.
To lose weight
and as a
on the side, the bad side,
a weapon.
It's a weapon. Later on, we get the perspective of a court where they're questioning everybody involved in this worm situation that obviously went crazy. That's where it comes from. So while this man is trying to be helped by Tim, he breaks the thingy. In the process of breaking the only radio they have, he coughs on Tim.
Yeah.
And Tim starts to quickly realize, he goes, this is bad. Yep. This is how whatever he has, now I have. And he has to protect the kids.
And from then on out, every person in the book continued to make the worst decisions you could possibly make.
Yes. Which like felt very on par for a horror.
It felt very on par for real life, right? I feel like a lot of us thrust into these situations wouldn't know what the fuck to do, especially if you don't know what you're working with. None of them knew this guy had a fucking, contagious disease.
They wouldn't have known.
I think the biggest mistake was from the scoutmaster, who is an adult, and if you read the book, you'll see a lot of themes comparing adults and kids.
Yes.
And the overall arcing theme is that adults don't know what the fuck they're doing, just like kids. That was the entire...
That's, I definitely took that away from that.
Almost every chapter, he blatantly used the words adult versus children. Yeah. Or he would say, an adult wouldn't do that.
The adults are coming. We're just kids. Why is this happening to us?
But they're like almost adults.
But it started to get so annoying.
They're 14.
I know.
I don't like calling them kids. They're teenagers.
Yeah, I agree. So that was what brought me down a little bit, because I was getting so sick of it towards the end. I was like, I can't keep hearing about this comparison.
I think like repetitiveness in books is just annoying.
It is. But
that was like, is there a reason?
I think it can be done well.
Yeah, no, totally could.
I think, but like
in this case, it was just hammering a dead horse.
Yeah.
When we did like, I think about ending things, like it was repeating itself in like different ways of saying the same like types of things. Like it was like creepy though. Like it was used as like a it was used to like make you feel unsettled.
This wasn't used to help the creep factor. It was just used to keep hammering home the same information we already have.
It was to give you the theme.
This was basically Lord of the Flies.
Yeah.
It makes you feel stupid.
But
like the author doesn't trust me to like understand the gravity of it.
Okay, that's one perspective.
I agree. And I think, but the whole point was that this scoutmaster who's supposed to be in charge of all these kids, who's supposed to be like the adult in the situation, he made a bad decision that affected the lives of all of them.
Yep.
So he decided to bring in one of the kids to help essentially operate on this
because the kid's father is a mortician.
Yeah.
So he asked, like, you've done this. Have you sat in on your dad doing these things?
A crazy decision.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't think he has.
I think he said, yeah.
No,
I've been there.
I know that he like it
he
said
it did, but
I don't. You realize how bad it smells?
Yeah.
And like I feel like there's all of those.
I've been in a cadaver room.
Yeah.
Scientifically,
all of those chemicals and stuff. Like I would wonder if that like causes any type of damage to a growing child.
I think a kid just has morbid curiosity, which I mentioned in the last episode. A kid just wants to know what's going on. Like, they wanted to know. They wanted to be involved.
He
so
also
he said
wanted
yes.
to help. He also wanted to be, like... I just want to be helpful. So we have 5 boys. We have Ephraim, Max, Newton, Shelley, Kent.
Did you have a hard time distinguishing them sometimes? Because I definitely did. There was I think it was because I would like kind of zone out for a second, and then I'd be like, I can't
Through
remember.
audiobooks, it's very easy to zone out who's talking. Once I figured out who was who, and once I figured out the connection of who's who between Lord of the Flies and this, I think it helped me out.
I will say they all had very different personality traits, which was nice. Yeah. We had like, just, the real psychopath.
Shelley.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But
I didn't see that coming.
I didn't either.
I did not see any Shelley of this coming.
So let's get there. Basically, they start catching the bug one by one, which is a worm in your stomach that it controls you.
It literally continues to populate itself under your skin. It moves, and it's these white tubes. That's why spaghetti is a problem now. Ugh. And they just keep, it's almost like a second voice telling your head, like, eat everything.
Yeah.
Food is not enough for you. I would eat this laptop. Like, I would eat this foam thing.
I would have to off myself.
that's sort of what it was. It's until you die. You just it starts eating you from the inside out unless you feed it.
Yeah.
Right? And then when you die, that when they were doing the operation on the man to try to figure out how to help him, when his fucking stomach, it starts like bubbling over because it just keeps they're populating and there's not enough food, and it just blows up basically, and all these worms fall out and start squirming everywhere.
That's when I had to skip.
You
Really?
skip that?
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't bad at all.
I was not here.
I thought
for
the trials of the people testing them out was way worse than that.
Yeah.
The woman that like.
Yeah.
I just didn't didn't need to read it. I was like,
I
I'm
get you.
good.
I get that.
I thought it was cool.
I'm good.
It was creepy.
I thought
weird.
it was so. My thing about this book is
Little
I
30-second
love.
skip.
I loved the writing of this book.
It was
the
well
way
written.
the way he had his descriptions of just even normal things made it creepy.
Yeah, the descriptions were really good.
They walked over some sticks and it sounded like cracking bones. Like that kind of description already puts you in a weird place. Like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Like, why would you say that?
I think that this book and the book that we did before, which was Stephen King's The Long Walk, like it's not for me. It was not about the fact like how well these books are written. It's I just don't like the content.
Yeah,
I don't like
get
the
that.
story.
And that's fair.
That's very
and
valid.
I do really, really strongly feel this way that like some of these are just better as fucking movies. Like I find that
This could be
that
scarier
like
as a
horror
movie.
psychological thriller works better as a movie.
I think
when
in
you
this
can
case-
show it and not tell it.
That's what I was gonna say. In this case, we already knew what was happening.
Yeah.
So we didn't have the mystery.
Yeah.
Because we kept getting those interwoven chapters where we're in the lab and they're creating this thing. We knew what it was.
What was going on, but like I like how cool would it have been to
not understand any of
to
it.
not understand any of it, and then it like kind of unravel as a movie. And like this is probably like my all of our brains
You're a
kind of
movie
work
buff.
like this.
Yeah.
And like I always love when movies are so good with like sound production because the sound
sound
is
design.
always like sound
Quiet Place.
sound
Yes.
One
always
of the best
moves
horror movies.
moves and it should always move the scene,
The story.
Yeah.
Yep.
and
Yep.
like I think with thrillers, and we've seen this with Hitchcock, how he's made it like famous, and Jaws and all of these like really amazing thriller movies, they're fucking amazing, not just because of like the story, they're amazing because of the music.
But this makes me
And the
appreciate
sound.
the story so much more because it's so hard to write.
Yeah.
It's
It's
so
I don't know how
hard.
people fucking write these.
It blows my mind. Even telling a scary story is
Yeah.
hard
It's
to
so
do.
hard
Yeah.
to like build that
Yeah.
anticipation up and like but again
And-
I feel more scared watching it than reading
because
it.
you don't know.
But
You're
I
not
do
getting the
think
information.
But I do think he did a great job at creating that uncomfortableness, right? You said you had to skip. Like that's hard to do, is to get people to feel so uncomfortable just from reading words on a page. And he
Yes.
did it. And
Yeah.
I thought he did a great job.
It was it's that same uncomfortable, not the same uncomfortableness, but like I also sometimes skip stuff in romance novels that
You just
are
skip
like
on anything.
Yeah.
no, like when it's like super cringy, like
Oh yeah.
awkward.
I can see that.
I
Like,
hate those
in,
cringy
it
moments.
happens-
No, it shows.
Like It Happened One Summer when she
boat?
walked into the party, the memorial party with shots, and she was
yeah.
like,
Oh,
"Who wants a
shouldn't
shot?" And she like it was like somebody's like death. Fucking
It's an anniversary of his wife's death.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like that. I skipped that too. It's
I didn't
bubbling.
like that.
It's bubbling guts.
Yeah.
and then really awkward moments.
Fair enough. No in between.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no in between.
Well, the other thing I think the author did really well was adding that anticipation that you were talking about before, where it wasn't that we already knew. Yes, we already knew one thing, but Shelley was that.
That's that twist.
Shelley was that for me, right? It was that, what is this guy gonna do? So let's get into like the kids and what he started to do.
Yeah,
like
so-
to me, this whole thing is that the monsters, the true monsters, are the people that you know.
which is
Yeah.
what the theme was for Lord of the Flies.
I'm looking at you, Maria.
No.
What?
I love you.
I think if we were in this situation, Maria would end up being that one
I
that's
am
just
not
like
Shelley.
no, not
I'm not.
not in the same way, but you would be like, I'm trying to see something. Shelley is weird.
Shelley's not okay. I will say now, Shelley's not okay.
So as the boys are starting to get this virus, they're starting to die, and they're really bad at not knowing when the other one is sick when it's very obvious, and they
Well,
just keep.
no, it's very obvious
But
to
that's like
us.
it's
Yeah.
very like
They don't know. Also, they ran out of food at the.
Like stay 6 feet, for fuck's sake.
We know that now because of COVID.
I know, but like get away from each other. What are
It
you doing?
feels very.
They know it's airborne. They know that.
No,
the
it
fucked
feels
up thing
very
was in
like
the room.
stupid, like horror. Like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
are we doing here?
Like the girl starts running away but
Yeah.
trips.
But I guess they're on an
You're just
island.
like,
Like, what else
fuck,
are you gonna
man.
fucking do? You kind of got to stick together.
They
Move
had
away
to.
from each other.
Yeah, no, I know.
Get your own tree to sleep in.
So okay, we have.
I would be up on a tree limb, being like,
Yeah.
"Y'all can hang out down there. Throw me an apple."
But nobody's coming for them because the island's quarantined and they don't know that.
They don't know their eyes quarantine.
But as far as the boys go,
There's 5.
There's one that stands out, and let's talk about
There's
him.
5, right? Ephraim and Max are best friends. Newton is the group nerd, and everyone makes fun of him for everything. Piggy.
Chubby.
And Kent is the jock, the one that's too alpha male, the one that's always trying to
Is
be.
his dad the cop?
His dad's the
Okay,
cop.
yeah.
He's the one that's always bossing everyone around and trying. That's why he got sick first, because he was being
Yep.
stupid.
Yeah.
So Shelly is this outlier.
Yeah.
Where he's not really close to any other boys. He's just his own thing. But then when you get to his sort of perspective, because it's third person, you get to his perspective, you find out that he is one of those kids that hurts animals and insects, and you're like, oh, that's the first
And
steps to serial killer.
Touches himself while he does
And
it.
he gets aroused from these kind of moments.
So
also made me very
there you
uncomfortable.
go. I skipped. So there was a whole fucking scene about him killing a kitten and jerking off
kitten.
while he did it.
Yeah,
I've never skipped anything in a book in my entire life.
I didn't. Skip
I started
it.
like I was like
bad.
breathing heavy.
Yeah.
It really fucked me up. I can't do animal
and it went
stuff.
too long.
Yeah.
It was really long.
Every time I would skip, it would be like, and then the cat would come up, and I'm like,
What did they call it? The cat was something.
it was like descriptive, right?
Yeah,
Because every time it would like,
extremely.
every time I would hit that 30-second, it would be like the worst part would be he'd be talking, and I'd be like, hit it again.
No.
It
So
was bad.
I think this is really interesting. So like I always think about when people write about sex in books, like how uncomfortable that could be for like people who their parents read it or like
or
Imagine
people
writing
especially-
this.
or people who just
well,
don't
no,
like
that's
it.
what I'm saying. Like, especially when you read like kinky sex, like
Yeah.
BDSM or like whatever it is, where like Den of Vipers, when
Yeah.
like
Oh,
she
yeah, the
puts
knife.
the fucking knife
The
in her
knife.
asshole and fucks her from behind, and the
Remember
knife
when we said there
stabs
was
into
no
him.
yeah, we
sex
don't gotta
in
go
this?
into the
And
detail.
we're sitting there being like, wow, that's crazy that somebody would write that. And then you read this.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, actually, that doesn't seem that bad.
This is way
Because then you're like,
worse.
why is your brain going to like jerking off to killing a kitten?
But that's a serial killer.
I'm not trying to say anything about authors, and you not, but we always say
You
on
write
this
what you know?
podcast, you write what you know, and it really makes it
No,
think
hold
sometimes.
on. No,
That's not fair. I know.
It's common knowledge
I know.
that serial killers start with hurting animals.
I didn't know that
but
they get
writing
off,
about it.
like,
So, yeah.
Most, at least for males.
It's true.
For males, most times with serial killer stuff, it's a sexual pleasure. Women, it's a thing of power.
Yeah.
To gain that power back. Men
like a
also
very
power, but
common-
sexual
yeah.
first.
I didn't realize that people jerked off to killing things.
Yeah. Very
Like I knew,
common.
like, well, obviously when you kill a
I
human,
listened to a lot of the last podcast.
and you
I
like
left.
killing a human and then like fucking the human, like whatever, like
yeah.
No,
I
it's a
understand
lot
that
of
to
that.
some degree, but like jerking off to killing an animal doesn't make sense to me.
it's
the power
It wouldn't
thing.
make
It's
it
a-
shouldn't make sense to you.
Yeah.
But I understand jerking
Yeah.
off. I understand,
Yeah.
like enjoying.
Necrophilia?
Yeah, like I understand. Because
That
at least it's a
Shouldn't
human.
make sense to you either.
It's
but
dead.
it's a human.
It's dead.
The point is that
At that point, just get a doll.
writing about it
But
though,
it's still a human.
but like writing about it so specifically and like the details, like how do you find the mind? Like I wouldn't be okay to even write something like that because you
Well,
have
that's
to,
what I'm saying. Like, it's interesting because, like, I think of it in terms of sex, but then, like, you see something like this and you're like, well, that's way more fucked up.
Yeah, so that was bad.
Also depends on who you are and what you think is
I
bad.
also skipped the whole turtle part. They kill a turtle, and it was
So the
really
boys-
descriptive.
the
But he went
boys
into
have-
killing animals very descriptively. in
The
this.
boys don't have any food, and so Max and Newton, because Ephraim is not doing well at this point. He's off in a corner, and Shelley tries to kill him, or tries to make him kill himself
Yeah, while he jerks off.
while he jerks off. So Max and Newton are trying to find food, and they find a turtle, and they
Ugh.
think, okay, this is what we have to do. But
It's
the turtle
heartbreaking.
doesn't die right away, and they realize stabbing is actually much harder, and it's very sad.
It's so
They
fucked.
both feel really bad about it at the end. Like they feel
I didn't even
really
care. I
Fuck up
skipped
killing
it.
a turtle.
Oh, Okay. Okay.
Erica, the turtle killing expert over here.
No, I'm just saying, like, cut its fucking head off.
Listen. 2 episodes
come
now.
on.
With what?
You last episode, her this episode. I don't want to hear nothing about me anymore.
But like,
There's
how
some
are you gonna
lines
kill?
y'all have
How do you
said.
not know how to kill a turtle?
They're 14.
They don't have
Take
knives.
a turtle and fucking smash it. What do you mean?
It's got a shell.
to see this got a shell.
That seems like the easiest thing to kill. Have you ever
It
been
bled
around
out.
somebody who's actually killed animals?
No.
I have.
What?
And I like wonder, he lived in my neighborhood when I was like really young, like
Again,
8 years
Don't
old.
look at me anymore.
And he used to kill frogs like all of the time, like just like in his bare hands, like fucking murder frogs. And my mom was so disturbed by it. Like obviously I was too young to like really understand like what it meant. She was so disturbed by it. And I wonder if he turned into a serial killer.
Probably. That's where it
You know
starts.
what I don't like? I don't like those videos when they kill squid, where you just
Yeah.
like, and
Dude,
they're
I
dead.
can't-
hate it.
I can't kill any
Hate it.
animal. I can't.
Have you ever killed an animal?
No,
I would never.
Spiders.
You've never ran over a squirrel.
No, actually, I haven't. I've seen.
You've never boiled a lobster?
No, I don't eat seafood.
Me neither.
Wow. I've killed multiple animals.
I've eaten hamburgers, but I haven't like
Yeah,
killed.
I mean, we're part of the problem.
So okay, so
Yeah.
I dated a guy one time that like he foraged all of his meals
Sure.
and like everything, and any piece of meat he ate, or
specific.
like he literally grew strawberries and raspberries and like
That's
I kind of
everything.
want to make a garden this year.
Everything
Love
that
that.
he ate was something that he's grown in his own garden. He does
Okay.
not shop locally or anything.
I know somebody like that.
And also on top of that, he believes that if you haven't killed that animal, or you wouldn't be willing to kill that animal,
I
that
respect
you
that.
shouldn't
Eat it.
be eating it.
I respect that.
So,
Yep,
like-
I get that.
in my head, I thought about that because that would really like resonate. And you know, I haven't been in
Yeah.
the dating scene for fucking 6 years now, so like that really actually resonated with me to some degree. Where I'm like, if you haven't killed an animal, it's kind of crazy that you like regularly eat animals. And then I
Yeah.
thought about like, have I killed an animal? And I have.
It's because you're disassociated from it.
Yeah,
you're
you
so
don't see
far
it happening.
removed.
Like
that-
I've gone.
yeah.
Have you not gone fishing?
No,
No, I've gone fishing,
nope.
but I've
So-
always put them back.
Just saying, y'all.
But the
have killed,
point-
I have
like
not.
I've boiled lobsters. I've fished. And I've ran over plenty of fucking animals.
I can't read about animals. I can't. I'm so. I don't even like leaving my cats alone for like 20
Zena's
minutes.
home right now, and I'm like losing it.
It's just like animals for me. I care way more about animals than I do about other humans.
Which is
it's
sad for us too.
crazy when you think about it. But the point is, I skipped all those parts of the book. It was fucked up. Let's get to the end.
Okay, so again, we're
Not clear ending.
we're starting to get
It was quick.
we're starting
in
to
my
get flashbacks of the court case because at this point we find out that they got quarantined and there anyone trying to get close to that got shot down. They even like put something in the water around the island, so that thing is quarantined for realsies. Max is the only one that survives. Him and Newton had gotten on a boat. And they were going towards they finally found the spark plugs. They had to go into the guy's body because he had eaten the spark plugs.
Fucked.
And so they went and go back in, put all this stuff on so they don't get the thing back on them. Go in, find the spark plugs, go to the spark plugs, go to the boat. They find the military. Military is like, okay, who are you? Who are you? Like, what? And Newton says, well, I'm really hungry. Shot him.
No.
Yes, this is
I
how
missed that.
Yes,
Okay.
Newton would have survived,
Yeah.
but because
Oh,
he
I missed
said he
that.
was hungry,
Yeah.
they shot and killed him.
Wow.
And so there's in the court case, they're like, so you shot the kid because he said he was hungry after he was 3 days with no food,
Yeah.
and they're like, well, that's part of our trigger words. If we were to hear hungry, we were supposed to kill
Jeez.
because of what the bug does to you.
Yeah.
So Max is the only one that survives. I think he spends a year out, and no one treats him the same. No one talks to him. No one wants to get near him.
I thought he was like locked up.
he was under the quarantine for
Yeah,
a while
yeah.
to test him.
Yeah.
And then eventually they was like, no, you're fine. We figured out nothing's in your system. You're
Right.
clean. You can go out in society. But society treated him like a pariah because they're just, we don't fucks with you.
Yeah.
You came from a weird place with the weird stuff. We're not going to mess with you. And towards the end, don't know why Max decides this, but he gets on a boat and goes towards the island. And the last page basically is like, he goes and goes on the island.
And
Doesn't he
and
say he's hungry?
And he's hungry.
Yeah. So clearly he's
A deep
got the
hunger.
bug.
But it's weird the book took so long to show himself.
But then it's like, does he actually have the bug,
But,
or is he
hungry for like answers
Yeah.
or
Yep.
more
Yep.
or like
we don't know.
So why does he want to go back to the island? to
Because
I
he's
think
an
I think-
island boy. Talk about island boys.
I think he already died in there.
Yeah. Oh.
I think he's a shell of what he was. He died with
I'd
his
rather
best
just
friends,
fucking die.
and he went to just go die.
I would rather die.
I'm looking at my notes, and
Yeah.
the first note I made says, I'm 10 minutes in, and they've already mentioned a chupacabra and used the word lewd.
Yeah,
So I was like, oh,
Yeah, I
maybe
did
we were
remember that.
meant to read this book.
I love the way it was written. I have notes too.
Yeah, it was really
Chupacabra.
just the adult versus kid thing that got too much for me at the end. That's what bumped
Again,
it
like
down.
I just don't understand why, but all these fucking books are written with boys. Why?
You're
Why
just
is there
happening
no
to
girl?
read that one.
Yeah, we just happen to choose two that have boys.
Yeah, there's
No, but,
other
like,
books out there that have
and they're all
girls in a
fucking
similar
boys.
situation.
What was the other one? Lord of the
Hunger
Flies.
Games, there's girls in that. Like there's a lot of books in the world, Erica. There's a lot of books. You're
They
picking
raised
3.
the island.
What?
Afterwards, they said in the book that they even raised the island so
That's
it wouldn't
wild.
touch the water. And I even wrote
That's
that.
fucking wild.
Yeah. Like, how do you
you
raise an
even do
island?
that?
How do you raise an island? How?
There's got to be a way.
Do they put flotation under it?
I have no idea.
How far does an island go down?
To the earth.
Probably far, yeah.
How far?
I don't know.
It
How
doesn't
far
flo- it
before you hit
doesn't
water?
float.
I would like to look into this.
I think it kind of does.
I don't think islands float.
They definitely do to an
Do
extent.
islands float?
You think islands go all the way to the ocean floor? What are you
That's what I'm
fucking
saying.
stupid?
No, there's no way.
Yeah. How?
No.
You think they just fucking stay in one place?
Oh, actually, you know what? I don't know.
It's a very good question.
They would be floating around to be like little ice cubes.
You're
and
right.
fucking-
Well, what's
She's right.
Pangea? They
She's
all
right though.
float
Like
away.
she's
Do
you're,
like the
you're
tectonic
right.
Whoa.
plates moved?
I've never
because-
really thought about it. Like
I just never thought. Yeah. Hold on. Now we have
no,
to.
she's absolutely right.
I know, but what if I'm right?
You're not. There's no way it's just
No, they do
floating.
not float.
Our islands connected to the
Wait,
ocean.
I just
are.
said, are you stupid when we're the fucking stupid ones? Once I like
Listen, I got it. Islands are the tops of underwater mountains. The
Oh my
base is at the
God.
bottom of the ocean. They may be the result of a volcano or just an accumulation of coral or the reminder.
I can't believe I had a lapse in judgment, and I said, "I'm sorry. I feel like I need to apologize to you."
Because we always fight with her.
That was so dumb. No, I called her stupid. When in retrospect,
But no, it made sense in my head.
no,
It does in a way. Because how do you raise them? How do you raise them?
way does that make sense?
How do you raise an island?
well,
though?
that's the whole thing. Is that doesn't
That's
make
what I'm
sense?
questioning.
No, but that doesn't make sense.
How do you raise an island?
You
though?
don't.
They
Unless
said
you
it in
drain the
book.
water.
Unless it's a man-made island.
Unless you drain the water.
But how do you make an island?
Search it, because I don't know anymore. I don't know.
Are-
I'm dumb now.
Are there man-made islands?
There
There's
are.
man-made lakes.
There's man-made lakes.
I don't give
about
a shit
islands.
about a fucking lake.
It's getting hot. Can you Google? Can you raise
Oh
an
yeah,
island?
that thing that was
Oh,
made.
that was my fault.
That was
Sorry.
made.
I'll just
Some of these man-made islands were created for flood protection. Blah blah blah.
Okay,
blah.
hold on.
Can you raise an island?
It's just that's what they said in the book, so I kind of want to.
Oh. The Pacific Island nation plans to raise itself above the ocean.
Okay, so how? Is it on the land? Maybe I'm just thinking about it in water sense. Maybe the land itself, they put a barrier on the edges.
There's a president that's planning to raise islands and fight against the sea level rise.
Okay.
Okay, so it's possible.
All right.
How to raise our kitchen island.
Okay.
All right. I thought it was a good book. I
thought
enjoyed
it was
it.
good.
It was crazy. It
It
reminded
was
me.
well written. It's just not my cup of tea.
That's fair. That's fair.
I really love the court moments.
Yeah, that was cool.
Then the prosecutor's
That was neat.
asking the people who were involved in this whole issue
Yeah.
and questioning what they did. I thought it was so well
I
written.
would love to see this as a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I,
really
agree.
would.
I probably would like it as a movie. I don't like it as books.
I said I'm very surprised it's just not an cannibalism.
Yeah, but you can't really eat like you'd
No,
be
like-
eating
Oh,
they'd be eating decrepit bodies.
but I'm saying like
Yeah, I'm surprised they
they're
didn't.
so hungry.
Yeah.
They're eating
You're right.
items on the table.
But maybe the worms know not to eat.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I wish they could have like
yeah.
explained
I
that.
think the
'cause
worms are their own
I
thing.
think a natural thing is to think that they would eat each other.
Yes. All right, recommendations. This kind of actually, now that we're talking about it, reminds me of The Hike a little bit in a sense
Does
of like the craziness of like the adventure side of things and like things just being
I love
so
the
fucking
voice
bizarre.
in their head.
Yeah.
The way they were thinking when the worms were really taking over.
Yeah.
Like Shelley calling it his kids.
Yeah.
When
Shelley's a fucking crazy.
I know, but Shelley
Creepy.
also with the worms.
Yeah,
like
that's creepy.
it turned his already fucked up mind even worse, and it was interesting.
Like I said, the monsters are the people you know, not necessarily the people you don't.
Not the worms.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. Anything else y'all want to add or
Thank you for
recommend, or-
indulging in my psychoness.
I can't wait to never read that book again.
Amen.
I thought it was fun.
I liked it too. Thank you so much for joining us. If you want to, go follow us on Instagram. That's books_n_Betches, BETCHES. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Just look up Books and Betches.
YouTube.
You could see Erica in all her glory. And be a patron if you want to. We have a Patreon. We do completely different episodes over there, so you
And outtakes and stuff.
outtakes, all brand new content that you've never seen before. If you want to be a patron, it's not like a ton of money, but you also don't have to do that. I won't be offended. Rate
will
this
not be
podcast
offended.
wherever you listen to it, and join us next week. Thank you so much. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.